Hi everyone, I thought I'd start by introducing myself. My name is Kiana Cole. I make a bunch of different things: paper crafts, pocket letters, mini pocket letters, flip books, greeting cards, all that stuff. So I thought today I would show you how to do a flip book. So let's get started. So, things you will need: piece of 12 by 12 paper. If you have it, you don't necessarily need it. A scoring board. You can also use, if you have a paper cutter that has a scoring tool, or if you fold it like you would a letter, so one side in, and then do it the other way. So I have a bunch of different scoring tools here. You can use whatever you like. So we're going to take this, we're going to put it on your scoreboard. You're going to go to 4, and you're going to score. Just be careful, because if you go too fast, it will skip to a different line. Okay, we're going to do it again at 8. And you're going to flip it. Same thing, 4 and 8. And 8. Okay. So your paper should be in 9, nice and scored. You can get rid of this scoreboard or whatever you're using, you don't need it anymore. Alright, for this project, you're also going to need some sort of adhesive. Glue, photo mounts, double-sided tape, whatever works for you. Scissors. And then we have little sentiments. They're just paper, so you can glue them on, and stickers. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the 4 corners. Doesn't need to be perfect. Some people are perfectionists, so they want it to be perfect, but it doesn't need to be. Just cut on the line, cut as straight as you can. All 4 corners. Almost done. You can see where I'm cutting. Okay. Now, for me, it doesn't really matter, because mine is just, it's not a up and down design, like there's not something specific that you need to read or anything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crease these on the score lines. I'm going to make sure that nothing overlaps the other score lines, because if you do that, you just get in the habit of things becoming uneven. If you do notice that, say this was over the score line, you could just cut a little bit off down to one side or the other. Like this one's pretty close, but it should be okay. So this one, I'm not really liking how it looks, so I'm going to trim a little bit off each side. I just do this freehand, I don't measure or anything. Okay. So now when I fold it over, it should be a little bit more even. Okay. This side. Okay, so when your flip looks like this, honestly, you can fold it whatever way you want. Doesn't really matter. This is how I fold mine. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it out. Then out of those 4 pieces that we cut out, I'm going to take the one that fits the best to put in the middle. So I just put them down here. That one looks pretty good, so I'm just going to take my glue. This is also the way that you do it if you don't want to use more than 12 by 12 sheet. If you don't care and you want to use more, there's been times where I've used these 4 to put on the little flaps, and then to do the pockets I just use like a 6 by 6 sheet where I can cut out triangles and the rectangles for the pockets. It's just up to you really. This way is a little bit easier, you only have to use 1 piece of paper. Okay. I'm going to take another one of these and I'm going to fold it corner to corner. Okay, so 2 triangles, and I'm going to take another one. I usually measure this to make sure that it's going to go all the way across. If it doesn't, it's not a huge deal. Then I'm just going to fold this in half. Okay, this piece is just extra. I use it for whatever scrap, punch outs, that sort of thing, so I'm just going to set it aside. And then you're going to take these, you're going to cut them in half. So you're going to cut the rectangular one in half on that line. And same with the triangles. Alright, so this doesn't matter because the design I have. If you have a design that you want to be up and down or right side up or whatever, what you would do is I do one this way and one this way. So I would just make sure that I put the one that I want to be red on the right side. Also with these, when I put them, I make sure that they're not going to hang over. If they hang over, I trim them. It bugs me. It just makes it a little more cleaner. So we're going to start with this. You're only going to glue the edges because you want this to be a little pocket. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this down. Okay. At the end of this, I will go around and look at the backs to see if there's any overhang. If there's overhang, I just take my scissors and trim it off. So I'm going to flip it. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, just the edges. If you think that it needs it, you could take something heavy, just set it on there for a sec or two. Helps keep it stuck down a little bit better for while it's gluing. I don't usually use glue, I usually use the photo mount. So what I would do is if I'm doing the full piece like in the middle, I would use 4 squares. They're just kind of like double-sided tape. I would just use 4 squares in the corners to stick it down. And then with the triangles and the rectangles, I would take those squares, cut them in half, and just kind of do along the edges, and then tape them down that way. That's the way I usually do it. So now I'm going to do the rectangles. It's literally the same thing, you're just going to do the edges. I usually only go up about halfway on the side edges. And glue it down. this around. I'm going to put that penny on it, and I'm going to do the other one. I'm just going to wait for that for a sec. While you're waiting, you could go into your little thing, whether it's stickers or these things, and just pick out something that that you like that will go in here. So like this one, I kind of like the blue. I'm just going to put it diagonally in there. You can also use like embellishments, stickers, stuff like that for the corners. Sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. It kind of depends on the paper. So, before I do this, I'm going to pick this up, and anything that has excess paper around these edges, I'm going to trim. Some of them are pretty good, which doesn't usually happen to me. Oh, this one has a big thing there, so I'll just trim it off. Alright, so I think we're good. So, get rid of this stuff. Now, I'm going to put the sentiment in the middle. So same thing, just glue or whatever adhesive that you are using. I kind of like the glue. It's cheap. It doesn't cost a lot. I stick that everything on it for a couple of minutes, seconds in it. Now usually I put embellishments in the corner, but because this one is already super florally, I'm just going to leave it as is. So now, pretty much done. You can just fold it up. So I go up, down, side, side. But it honestly just depends what you like. Thanks guys.